I did. I'm assuming we could probably leave a link to this in the show notes, but I did a whole episode on when your parents and your family is against homeschooling. And in that, I kind of share a little bit like of our backstory with my parents and their stance on homeschooling. And I will say that, here we are homeschooling 10 years later, and my mom is on board, but my dad still not so much. We are constantly battling that situation with my dad and being against homeschooling. And it's hard. I think it's hard as a parent. You want to do what's best for your kids. And especially as a Christian parent, you feel called to homeschool. You feel the Lord leading you to homeschool. But when you get backlash from those who you want to make proud of you, for those who raised you, those who love you, and you kind of go against really what they hope for you and your kids, it's hard. It's extremely, extremely hard. It's not an easy place to be in. And my husband actually was against homeschooling when we first started, when I first started feeling the call to homeschool for a little while. And so I've been in that situation too. And now he's, my number one supporter. Of course, I didn't start homeschooling until he was on board, but it's just hard. And I feel for families, for people who are in those situations, when those that are closest to us, whether it be our friends, people at our church, our parents, our grandparents, our siblings, aunts, any kind of close relationship, whenever they don't really support you, it can feel very, very lonely
Mhm.
and very much like you're doing something wrong, even though in your heart, you're doing what God's called you to do. So I think that there's three things that I want to bring up that you can do if you're in this situation. And the first, I think, is to remember that our parents, those around us, they love us and they love our kids. And if that wasn't true, they wouldn't care about how we educate them or what we did with them. They want to make sure that our kids have everything that they didn't have, particularly grandparents. And they want our kids to have a good education. So I think that we need to remember that sometimes it's not personal. Sometimes it's just
Mm.
concern. It's just that they love our kids and they want to make sure that they're getting what's best for them. And so that's something important to remember. And the next is to educate them. And so this is kind of something that really happened with my mom. And when I say educate them, I don't mean throw a bunch of statistics at them. It can be something simply as sharing a post that Schoolhouse Rocked shares on Facebook, because I share a lot of those,
Mhm.
because you guys always share really good resources out there that are pro homeschooling and kind of educate the community. So sharing something like that on Facebook, not shoving it down their throat, but simply trying to educate the people around you.